Alberta's caribou populations are threatened. There are only 15 herds left in the province, with an estimated total population of about 2,000. Last year, the Athabasca Chipewyan First Nation, the Mikisew Cree First Nation, and environmental groups said the animals were at risk from clear-cutting and resource extraction. And they filed an application with the federal government to protect the caribou under the Species at Risk Act. Under that act, the feds would have to work with Alberta to protect critical habitat for endangered species. Rather than forcing the feds and Alberta to follow the Species at Risk Act, the federal and provincial governments decided to work together. In October, they signed an agreement to help the populations improve, and the legal action was dropped. The federal government is not using the Species at Risk Act and will not act themselves. Instead, they will help fund Alberta's caribou plan. The Alberta government says they will have a plan in place within 5 to 10 years for all caribou populations, but it could take 50 to 100 years to get the herds stable. Athabasca Chipewyan First Nation Chief Alan Adams says he is disappointed the federal government is counting on Alberta to solve the problem.
Instead of fixing it, what they went and did was that they gave it back to Alberta, who was the cause of the problem, and it's going nowhere. It's just like, how would you say, when the fox comes to the hen house, it creates a lot of problems. But this time now, it's just like us, we're putting the hen house right where the fox is living. So I don't think it's going to get any better.
Adam says that he does not expect any real action will be done. He says the herds do not have 5 years before action is taken.
In 5 years, nobody's going to do nothing about it. It's going to be forgotten in their system, and then we're going to be right back at it again, arguing about the same scenario.
Yes. Carolyn Campbell, a conservation specialist with the Alberta Wildlife Association, a nonprofit, says that the new agreement has no teeth. She thinks it might be business as usual with oil and gas extraction and clear-cutting continuing to threaten the caribou herds.
At least the agreement gives a timeline, but there's no consequences if they miss it. That's the problem. And meanwhile, there's ongoing forestry. We don't believe it's sustainable and supporting caribou and caribou's declining populations.
Chief Adams says he wants the federal government to sit down with Indigenous groups in the province.
If the government is serious about working on this issue, then they have to come and sit down with the First Nation in order to move this thing forward, because giving it back to the province is just giving back trouble to them.
Alberta Environment and Parks Minister Jason Nixon and Federal Minister for the Environment and Climate Change Jonathan Wilkinson were not available to comment before airtime. Eco-justice lawyer Barry Robinson, working with the coalition, says they are not ruling out future litigation. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Edmonton.